think you and I saw record increases with some of the prospective groups that we got pulled into.
Yeah.
Either stop loss was going up or they're in a fully insured plan, and, the BUCA carriers like Blue Cross, United, Cignet, I've seen double digit from, low teens to high 20s. I even saw a 30 and 40% increase on a couple groups that I was working on. I'm coming up on 9 years in the business, and I would say this has been one of the difficult ones to try and find solutions for employers to try and, level off their costs as much as possible. But it was also good because I think employers are starting to wake up and saying, hey, what we're doing just isn't working anymore. We can't continue to raise our deductibles. We can't continue to take on these double-digit increases. What are the solutions that are out there? Because we're not getting, the expertise that we're needing, especially when we are trying to work with new groups. The biggest roadblock that we run into is we already have a broker, or we already have an advisor. And that relationship's been pretty strong, which is a good thing. We love loyalty. But if it's at the detriment of your business and your people and your health plan and your employee benefits, I think more employers are starting to look now externally like, I'll work with anybody that's willing to help me solve X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Well, when you start seeing $3,000 a month for health insurance premiums, there's a lot of frustration there because that's likely more than they're paying for their mortgage or their car.
Yep.
Together. And so they're looking for answers. And this is just a reminder of what Community Connected Health is about. We're not here trying to keep the secret sauce under the lid here. We're out here trying to tell you what our experiences have been and what's happening out there in the marketplace. And if it's a benefit to the consumer, number one, great. We want to try to educate as much as we can to let you know what we're seeing out there as agents, give you our version of the story, so to speak. But also, we're trying to help the medical community. And then ultimately, we're trying to help our industry with the fact that we're trying to keep these precious dollars in our communities. And so, this has been the toughest year I've ever seen. But I know you heard that a few times from me. And I've had some doozies, but I've never seen the renewals like this. And so for me, the one thing that really stood out in the renewal cycle, especially for these increases, was just the amount of claims we're seeing. So there was a claim intensity aggregately as opposed to a couple of years ago we're seeing, oh my gosh, there's $1 million claims, shock losses. And so those are certainly a part of that. But the loss ratios, right? Which the loss ratio is okay, for every dollar you spend for healthcare, how much, was paid out for your premiums, how much was paid out for the claims. And a lot of our groups are north of 100%, and it still continues. And I'm seeing renewals now coming out for this next year. I'm going, it's frustrating.
Well, it's just constant tweaking that we have to do.
Yeah.
Even with the groups that are, fully insured and not, utilizing some of these cost containment mechanisms that we've talked about thus far on our previous episodes, like direct primary care, pharmacy, things like that. Well, what would their renewals have been if they weren't taking advantage of some of these solutions?
Yeah.
Even though they're seeing, some increases, they probably would have seen even larger increases.
Yeah.
And then, I think we spent a lot of time educating new employers to us that, hey, these are all the other opportunities that are out there.
Yeah.
This is the difference between fully insured, level funding, self-funding, which we're going to dive deeper into in those three categories. But just a lot of education that was happening.
Yeah.
Which is needed. We're in an industry that is super confusing. Even we work with a lot of medical groups and they're confused by health insurance. And out of all the people that you think should understand how insurance works, oftentimes, unfortunately, they don't. So we're educating not only the medical professionals.
Yeah, it's multidimensional, and and I think the nice thing is, if I can say it that way, is that we're getting asked these questions, and I feel like we've done a lot of work over the last 5 years together, and grueling, and we've learned new things and old things, and we're trying to figure out how the future looks. But at the end of the day, the challenges are paying off because all the information that we have armed ourselves with, we know who's been naughty or nice in the insurance business. We're kind of the Santa Clauses now, and we know the providers and the mindset that we're looking for. They're definitely aligned with us.